Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about Visit to the Unknown from Tensei Shitara Slime Talk, and so without any ado let's begin. Visit to the Unknown, 11 Appearance of Super Beast Part 1. It was just as Zaza had finished saying this. Carmen's expression froze on his face. Hey, stop it. Do you think this is funny? Zaza laughed as he slapped Carmen on the shoulder. Then he followed his eyes, and saw it. That thing that should have been in the world of the underground. The thing with paranormal abilities, mankind's enemy. It was called the Super Beast. I told you this would happen. That grill is cursed. Zaza's scream thundered. And with that, the sudden arrival of the beast turned the scene into one of chaos and fear. Super Beast. They were a disaster that had suddenly appeared in this world. It was said that they were creatures who had mutated after the war due to contamination, but the truth was shrouded in secrets. The one thing that was known about them was that they lived and bred in the deep world of the underground and never came to the surface. While the underground passages were said to be safe, there were still places that were contaminated. That was why it was important to wear protective suits. So even there was a possibility of being attacked by a super beast. And since they were escorting nearly 1,000 residents, it was decided that the tunnels were too dangerous. This led to the alternate option, putting on the protective suits and going to the surface. Zaza and the others of the defense team spread out frantically and looked up at the giant beast that loomed over them. It wasn't alone. There were multiple super beasts that surrounded them in a semicircle. Tisk. I would be able to fight them just fine if I had a powered suit. Carmen said angrily. It was true. With the firepower of the powered suits, such a fight would be easy. However, the only weapon that Carmen and his men had now were the cyborg plasma Gatling. This was because Beretta had destroyed all 5 suits. The plasma Gatling was a frightful weapon that sprayed superheated energy bullets, but it was still an anti-human weapon. It was not enough against a giant like a super beast. After all, the most notable feature of the super beast was its ridiculous ability to regenerate. Even if you severed their limbs or tentacles, they would grow back. And so the only way to defeat them was by destroying more than 2/3 of their body at once. This would require burning them or some other method to annihilate them. It was more than possible with the powered suits, but impossible with any small weapon. Those who were enjoying the barbecue now froze. It had all happened so suddenly that they did not know what to do. Damn it! We'll lure them away. Run when you get the chance. Zaza shouted at the adults. We can't, Mr. Zaza. There are super beasts behind us. It was Rindo who answered. As he stated, super beasts had appeared behind them out of nowhere. They were now completely surrounded. On the other hand, the children did not understand the situation and remained calm. They were surprised to be sure, but not enough to let go of their plates. There were even some who were bold enough to snatch meat off of the plates of the stunned adults. After all, Feldera was their hero, and Feldera continued to cook the meat as if nothing of note was happening. This was enough to assure them that nothing was wrong. In fact, when Karma had come, and when Michelle had come, Feldera had always been cooking something. And every time, things had ended without much trouble at all. The grill may have seemed cursed to someone like Zaza, but to the children, it was a symbol of safety. As for what Feldera and Ramaris were doing, they glanced at the super beasts with carefree expressions as the meat sizzled. Hey, Ramaris. Those things are apparently called super beasts. I see. But, Master, don't you think they look pretty unimpressive? Yes. As you can see, they don't attack us because they are so afraid. Lord Feldera, it cannot be helped. Unlike humans, beasts have an instinct that allows them to see an opponent's strength. It seems to be the case. But I don't like this. How will I be able to show how amazing I am? Master. I want more meat. Are you listening, Ramaris? This is the most important part, all right. I think you should just give up on that. Besides, the children already trust you, Lord Feldera. You can make people understand your greatness without rushing to do things. Ho. I see. That is very true. They might respect me after using my skills, but that doesn't seem quite right. I won't say who, but someone from Remuru's homeland did the same thing and suffered for it. That's right, Master. I was just thinking the same thing. Yes. I don't think it is right at all. There is no need to rush. That is very true. Then that's settled then, Master. Now, I'll have another. Feldera clicked his tongue at Ramiris's lack of concern in the matter, but he still gave her another slice of meat. He was also cooking more for the children. Feldera was a surprisingly kind and caring person. Ramiris ate it with a delighted expression. She stuffed the food into her mouth at such a pace that one would wonder how it all fit into such a small frame. The children also seemed oblivious to the panic of the adults. They continued to enjoy the barbecue. Unlike Zaza and the others who were incredibly tense, their world was peace itself. However, this was soon interrupted by Zaza's shouting. "Hey, how can you all be so calm? Stop your reckless meat eating and prepare to allow the others to escape." Zaza could no longer ignore it. Blue veins popped on his forehead as he complained. Feldera looked at him with an exasperated sigh and answered. "Oh, Zaza. You must calm down. There is no need to escape. Especially since you'd have to wear those pesky suits once you leave my barrier. Besides, don't you agree that it would be faster to just get rid of these rude monsters who are disturbing our meal? In the first place, I doubt such small fry could even get into my barrier. What are you talking about? Things are never that easy. Stop this nonsense about barriers. We need to make sure everyone gets changed while the monsters are watching from the outside. I told you to calm down. There is no reason to be alarmed over such weak creatures. I wouldn't even need to do it myself. Beretta could do it. Mr. Beretta. It would be a simple thing if I were ordered." "What?" Feldera realized that Beretta would get all of the credit again, but he didn't mind this one time. After all, he had already become quite popular through cooking the meat. And it wasn't just the children, even the adults were singing his praise a moment ago. They had exhausted so much of their energy during the past few days of tiresome travel, and then he had served the best barbecue meat imaginable. So it was no wonder they adored him now. And while he was annoyed that these super beasts had interrupted things, in Feldera's mind, they were too weak to pay much mind. Of course, this was only by Feldera's standards. When judged as a monster, they were about A rank, and an especially strong super beast might be the equivalent of the Pseudo Demon Lord class. The super beasts came with such dangerous special abilities including ultrasonic waves, poison, and degrading enzymes. Even if there were some who considered them weak, they were still a dangerous opponent. However, this world did not have magic essence. The super beast was restricted to the laws of this world. That made them a joke to Feldera. While Carmen and his men had weapons of science that had posed as an unknown threat, these super beasts did not. This was all clear through Feldera's seeker of truth. Feldera was not interested in bullying the weak, in other words, he did not care about the spotlight in this particular instance. Besides, the super beasts may have just understood his strength by instinct, because they had not moved into attack ever since their arrival. From Feldera's point of view, he did not want to attack any who feared him so much. To be honest, they are no different than birds, dogs, cats, rats, or snakes who have had a little genetic modification. Beasts with a little extra power and abilities, I suppose. Even Ramiris agreed with him. Beretta understood it too, but he was not enthusiastic. He would move if ordered, that was all. Damn it, it's no use. The plasma Gatling is too weak. They are able to regenerate so quickly that we are dealing no damage. Carmen shouted as he approached them. They had known it would be a tough fight, but now they were out of ammunition. Without ammunition, they could not attack. And so he had returned. Carmen. Fear has affected your ability to make decisions. You should stop such futile attacks once you suspect it will not be effective. You could have raised your chances of survival by hitting the ground or boulders instead, causing a dust cloud. However, it is all unnecessary now. After all, I am right here. Yes, that's true. What? What are you? Carmen readily agreed with the first point. He regretted his mistake deeply. But at the same time, understanding of the rest of Feldera's words came, and he was confused. Look. I do not know why, but there is a mysterious barrier surrounding us. Mysterious? But you did it, Master. Shut up. This safety zone was created against unimaginable odds, and now the super beasts are unable to enter. Feldera ignored Ramiris and started creating his own story. He was acting as if his earlier explanation had not happened, which of course, was completely futile. No. That's not what you've been saying. You said that the barrier was made by you. Zaza. You really should stop interrupting me. Who cares about what was said earlier? The problem is these beasts. Look, one is trying to come after Carmen. Zaza was quick to point it out to him, but Feldera was hardly bothered. Not only that, but he tried to direct everyone's attention to a monster that was trying to invade the barrier. Feldera was pointing at a particular monster that had been chasing Carmen. Perhaps it was so enraged that it forgot itself, because it charged forward, ignoring the warning that its instincts were raising. A most dramatic change occurred the moment the super beast touched the barrier. Growling gyag gyag gyag. It let out a horrible shriek as if it were experiencing unimaginable agony. Upon closer inspection, the tiger-like stripes were falling away and the tentacles on its back began to crumble like dust. What? What is happening? Mr. Feldera. Did you do something? Zaza asked in shock, but Feldera did not answer. He just inspected the super beast quietly and muttered to himself. The tiger-like super beast frantically jumped away from the barrier. It no longer tried to enter. It just paced in front of it as if it were angry. The stripes and tentacles had already started to regenerate. It hadn't gotten through the barrier, but it did not take much damage in the end. Feldera saw and began to chuckle mischievously. I see. Super beasts, did you say? I understand what they are now. Yes. Your purification barrier is able to dismantle and purify contaminated material, isn't it, Master? The fact that it began to break down upon touching the barrier means that it is made of contaminated substances. It is most surprising. A creature that has evolved from something other than magical essence. Feldera, Ramaris, and Beretta were all nodding with realization, while the others were left behind. Hey. What are you talking about? Can you explain it so we understand? As Zaza and Carmen looked on in confusion, Feldera and the others explained them their deduction. And they had gotten very close to the exact truth. And then, as if to deliberately feed Feldera even more information, 2 to 3 other super beasts began to attempt to enter the barrier. However, much like the tiger-like monster, they ended in failure. However, there was one snake-like beast that was especially large. It seemed to have become provoked by the failure of the others, and it came forward. Oh? I sense a strong will in this one. Is it a leader? It was a great serpent with a purple body and red head. There were wings on its back. It was imposing in a way that separated it from the other super beasts. As Feldera said, this was likely the one that united the others. The leader monster hesitated for a moment when touching the barrier, but then it began to force its way inside. Cracks appeared on its skin, but its regeneration ability was working faster than expected. Oh? This will be entertaining. I know. I'll take care of this one myself. Feldera looked on with amusement before making this declaration. The children all heard this and erupted into cheers. So cool. Mr. Feldera is awesome. Don't lose. Etc. Feldera's ears twitched at this and he smiled broadly. Hey. Are you sure? I know you are probably stronger than I initially thought, Mr. Feldera. I am not doubting your skill with machinery arts. However, that thing can heal at an incredible rate. You do realize you will have to do immense damage in order to defeat it. Carmen is right. We get that you are great. Now, please step back and leave it to Mr. Beretta. Surely he is much more suited to the task. Carmen and Zaza were worried about Feldera. However, Feldera laughed as if it were not a problem in the least. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more content.